So I'm here to present the gallery of the Saints Mausoleum Extension for the Greater Metropolitan Cemeteries Trust. In Victorian times, it wasn't unusual to pack a picnic, grab some friends and head to the local cemetery for some recreational time. Now, while many of us aren't accustomed to this experience, there's definitely a growing shift towards transforming cemeteries into valuable community assets that offer more than pure burial space, from accommodating recreational activities such as picnicking and dog walking, to establishing nature reserves and refuges for native flora and fauna. The Gallery of the Saints Mausoleum Extension, so the project that I'm presenting to you today, contributes to this paradigm shift. It's a site-specific and engaging memorial structure that not only supports the emotional healing of mourners within the building itself, but contributes positively to the space and community surrounding it. It does this within the context of an existing introverted building on a highly restrictive site. So just forgive me if I'm communicating something that you already know, but a mausoleum is an external freestanding above ground monument enclosing the burial chamber of a deceased person or people. It can be a grand over the top structure for an individual with obscene wealth, or a smaller structure, often neoclassical in form, devoted to a single family. A common configuration, both locally and abroad, is the example on the right. It's a publicly accessible monument with burial chambers or crypts of generally unrelated individuals arranged side by side and stacked vertically within the one structure. Crypts are marble or granite faced for both longevity and cultural significance, and are typically identified by a commemorative plaque when an individual is interred. At the Keilor Cemetery, a mausoleum complex is located at the centre of the cemetery. It's surrounded by in-ground burial plots. The structure, the existing structure, was built over 3 stages. So this is the building itself. The first stage is an ecclesiastical type structure with some crypts facing an internal chapel and others facing the garden through a covered colonnade. The second and third stages, designed by Harmer Architecture, play on the symmetry and formality of the existing building, but in a much more rationalist manner. Both stages of this building are cloaked in a concrete and metal skin that obscures the crypts within. It's quite an introverted building. A master plan, our site, so a long, narrow site to the south of the existing building, was allocated to expand the mausoleum. That site's bound by the existing building, by roadways to allow hearse to enter the site, and by in-ground burial plots to the south. A master plan had already been prepared for the site through here. It was fundamentally an extension of the existing building. That is a series of crypts or concrete crypt running through the centre of the site, cloaked by the concrete and metal skin that envelops stages 2 and 3. We were told that we had creative license when it came to the design of the mausoleum extension, on the condition that the design had to be sympathetic to the existing building, the site dimensions for the building couldn't change, and most importantly, that we couldn't reduce the number of crypts within the development, because the crypt yield directly impacts the financial feasibility of the project. So it didn't give us a lot of room to move. We started by interrogating the existing master plan. 2 things stood out. Firstly, the continuation of the contiguous skin would do little to connect the structure to the cemetery surrounds. And without the prospect of an internal courtyard, it would offer very little visual relief within the building. And the second part was the linearity of the floor plan would set up incredibly long crypt galleries that, when amplified, would become very impersonal. So this is the existing building, the existing gallery. This is what it would become under the master plan. Linear, singular, and in our view, deeply impersonal. We felt that the building could do a lot more. So we took the existing master plan, we removed the skin, and we pulled the crypts apart in order to reduce the scale and disrupt the monotonous circulation and spatial experience. And then we just redistributed the crypts in an organic arrangement, ensuring that we could maintain the yield that was already established. This organic arrangement of crypts would provide a number of diverse spatial experiences that could result in mini communities coexisting within the mausoleum. It would allow the Cemetery Trust to create family rooms without having to define them. It would also allow the opportunity for diverse spatial and circulation experiences that are punctuated by landscape. So along the southern edge, shifting setbacks would create an engaging interface with the in-ground burial plots to the south. By creating a more permeable interface to the north, the mausoleum has the potential to engage with the landscape of the forecourts to the west and the east of the existing building. And by creating this opportunity, we convinced our client to include the redesign of these two large landscape areas into the scope of our work. So they weren't part of our original site. We designed this extension over 3 stages. So stage 4 in the middle, 5 to the west and 6 to the east. We've designed and documented all 3 stages, but we've built stage 4 so far, and that's what we're presenting today. This is the approach to our building from the northeast and highlights the interface between our extension and the existing building. So where the existing building is introverted and shielded, our extension is open and welcoming, with visitors greeted by a colonnade that is organic, playful, and connected to the cemetery surrounds. Permeability and connection to landscape is the key to understanding our project. The materiality of the Gallery of the Saints is embedded firmly to place. Inspired by the basalt plains in the surrounding context, bluestone cladding, a material that is synonymous with the cultural and civic heritage of Melbourne, provides the project with a sense of both familiarity and monumentality. The bluestone is generally sawn-faced with honed inlays that create additional texture and help to reduce the perceived scale of the building. Marble crypt shutters provide a subtle contrast to the materiality of the bluestone crypt cores, and they assist with reflecting natural light within the mausoleum galleries. Brass detailing reflects light and connects the new project to the religious iconography of surrounding headstones. Roof windows allow daylight to penetrate the interiors, animating the interior spaces and providing an uplifting spiritual quality without the reliance on religious iconography, which is really significant to our client, that these buildings become non-denominational and non-secular.
1 minute remaining.
Thank you. Modular seating is provided on a track system so that it can be moved when needed to allow an interment, because the full width of the gallery is needed when someone's interred in the building. The cobblestone flooring and exposed aggregate connect the interior of gallery spaces to the landscape of the cemetery, basically broadening its footprint. As do pockets of greenery that punctuate the gallery spaces. Climbers will eventually take hold of the bluestone walls. Just flicking through some details, because I know I don't have a lot of time. This is the space between our extension and the existing building. The play of light within the space is really important to the experience of our project. The connection to the broader cemetery, again, is also really significant.
Thank you. Just a few seconds left.
Thank you. I decided to flick through images rather than keep talking. I thought that might help.